It's the 2K Sports pregame show.
Greetings, y'all. I'm your host, Ernie Johnson. Kenny the Jet Smith is here. So is Shaquille O'Neal. This is the NBA on 2K Sports. Tonight, it'll be the Sacramento Kings up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Well, for Minnesota, relative to last season, their record at this point, not quite up to par. They're looking for answers.
The dome of the California Capitol building lit up dramatically. Now it's ended down.
Well, thanks very much.
David, thank you for that. From all accounts, he was a solid member of that Shanghai team.
Yeah, and for undrafted players, there are now a handful of options to get into the NBA beyond the draft, the G League, and also playing overseas.
Already, Brent, we've seen changes for Sacramento. Giles checked in for Willie Cauley-Stein. Bielitsa comes in for Harrison Barnes. And Yogi Ferrell subbed in for Bogdanovich. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, Dario Saric is out there with Chang. Then it's Wiggins. Then it's AI. And it's Jones in at the 1 spot. And we're approaching about 3.5 minutes played in the first quarter. Fox kicks to Bielitsa. Back to Fox. The pass to Ferrell. Here's Giles. Wiggins with the rebound.
The defensive reaction time, it was just immediate on that one.
So sometimes the most important part of that is the angle that the defender chooses. That time, he chose wisely.
The Timberwolves shooting their first free throws of the night right here.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor. Something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
Burks, he's checked in for De'Aaron Fox. It's stolen by Jones. And now Minnesota on the fast break. Jones is running. And that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession.
And who doesn't love stats? Here are some numbers. Up about 14 points tonight, almost 3 blocks and 7 rebounds. And his defensive presence inside not to be overlooked. He builds a wall around the basket.
Yeah, over this whole last stretch of games, he's been shutting down the lane with total authority. Impressive stuff.
Bielitsa passes to Giles. That one goes in.
So we talk so much about accurate shooting. Sometimes accurate passing can lead to great shooting. You saw it there.
Timberwolves trail by 3. To the left side wing. Puts up a 3. And AI with the basket on the assist by Jones. And it's 7 points for AI.
And already you're seeing great execution from both teams.
Yeah, lots of points early, and the game plans on both sides, at least offensively, working to perfection.
Pass to Ferrell. And finished off by Bagley.
Yeah, ferocious at the rim. Bagley can finish with power or finesse.
Wiggins outside. Saric up top. Now, here's AI. Burks covering. 6 on the shot clock. Jones for 3. And it's Sacramento with the rebound. This their first chance to take a look at the Timberwolves this season.
Yeah, and these teams pretty familiar with one another. They'll face off 4 times this year.
We'll get a great idea tonight of exactly how they match up in terms of strengths versus weaknesses. When it comes down to a 4-game season series, this first one is always a good indicator of what's to come.
AI kicks to Saric. Here's AI. And trying for the go-ahead basket. It doesn't go in. And so lots of... And getting going again here in the second quarter. Fairly close game so far. And looking at what we've seen from Sacramento so far, guys, what do you think?
I mean, they're winning the turnover battle, and oftentimes that can swing things your way.
Well, they're taking care of the ball. They're attacking on defense. And this has them out to a big lead after 1.
And now brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset our lineups. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, they've got Jones staying out there with Dario Saric. Then it's Wiggins, and it's AI in at the shooting guard.
I get the feeling that he made that much more difficult than he had to. No reason why he had to fade away on the jumper.
Out of the sideline and catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, the Kings signed some quality vets last season, but when the losses piled up, they decided to go young. Now, the folks still have a role providing steadying presence on the court and in the locker room. Kevin?
David, it certainly is a balancing act. Thanks for that report. Dang finds Wiggins. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. Now, here's AI. He's guarded closely. Trying to get open as Dang. AI can't hit. Got a piece of it. Kings leading now by 3. Pass to Burks from 13. And Luol Deng pulls it down.
Wow, huge sigh of relief for the defense on that possession. You cannot give mid-range shooters any space like that to operate.
And now we'll look at the upcoming schedule for Sacramento. On Saturday, they'll go up against LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. And then on Monday, they'll be playing against LaMarcus Aldridge and the San Antonio Spurs.
And for that matchup against the Grizzlies, I think it's going to be an interesting challenge. Even though they expect to come out on top, this could probably be a pick'em game, depending on how they play.
Here's what Sacramento's going with right now. Willie Cauley-Stein, he's checked in for Giles. Harrison Barnes comes in for Bagley. Bogdan Bogdanovic, he's checked in for Alec Burks. And De'Aaron Fox subbed in for Farrell. Bogdanovic with it, and Rose picks him up defensively.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
AI right side. Goes up the baseline. The shot that time, not on target. Now Sacramento takes it the other way. This game, and that's it for the first half of action. What's been a very close game here. Timberwolves lead by. Thank you, David, and we'll be right back after halftime. And if you're just joining us, we've played through the first half in a game that's been fairly even so far. Eddie Farrell's checked in for Bogdan Bogdanovic. Towns, he's checked in for Minnesota. AI comes in for T. The Kings trail by 9. Down low, it's Bagley and Cauley-Stein. De'Aaron Fox out there with Farrell. And it's Barnes in at the 3. So that's the 5 in the game for Sacramento. To the middle, it's blocked.
And this has been an outstanding display on the boards, and it's a big part of why they have a lead in this game. Doing the dirt work down low.
On 3 of 7 tonight from three-point territory. With the Timberwolves playoff appearance last season, Brent, in 2018, the longest playoff drought in the NBA now held by the Sacramento Kings.
Yep, 12 seasons for the Kings on the outside looking into the playoffs. And in that time, they're at one-loss record. They've won just 35% of their games. So fans hoping that the Kings can crown off a season by getting themselves into the playoffs.
Farrell kicks to Fox. Knocks it loose, and it goes out of bounds. That one off Covington. Here we are in November. Let's see how things are shaking out in the West early in the season. You take a look at the Timberwolves. Solid start to the season so far, sitting in 6th place. And, of course, the Kings, a game and a half out.
And checking out Sacramento, so far it looks like the adjustments they made in the offseason aren't going to produce the desired effect.
Lots of season left to go, so maybe a little too early to say that. The results have been anything but positive early on, but we've seen plenty of teams dig themselves out of big holes after early season woes. The defense looked lost there. Get out your compass. No excuses. You got to guard the perimeter.
AI passes to Gibson. Back to AI. Stein grabs the board. The Kings trail by 6. 1:58 left to play in the third. Back to Fox. At the teardrop, and the layup is good. Fox has got 7 points.
The closer that Fox gets inside, the more effective he could say. I guess you could say he's good in the Fox hole.
Passes to Covington. Down low. Trying to get open is Gibson. And AI gets it to go on the assist from Covington.
And that's just too easy, too big, too far inside. And that's as simple as it gets.
Fox kicks to Barnes. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. And it's Towns with the ball. He'll bring it up for Minnesota. Barnes against Covington. Farrell can't hit. Timberwolves leading by 6. It's Covington on the wing. Back to AI. 9 feet out, and he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time, the whistle blowing. And the Sacramento Kings get called for the foul. So far in the game, he's gone 2 for 4 from the free throw line.
And the free throw line was a problem spot for him in their last game. Really struggled up there.
Catching up on the changes for Sacramento. Harry Giles is checked in for Cauley Stein. Bielitsa comes in for Bagley. For and then for Minnesota, Gorgie Dang's checked in for Gibson. Dang comes in for Robert Covington. And Andrew Wiggins is subbed in for Rose.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
And to me, this is why they're winning, guys. Unlikely players stepping up huge against a defense that's really nowhere to be found.
Fox. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line.
Well, Fox really daring them right now on the inside.
He's checked in for Sacramento. Bogdanovich comes in for Yogi Ferrell. Timberwolves also changing it up. Towns comes in for Gorgie Dang. And AI is subbed in for Luol Deng. Talk about what it means to be a good teammate, Brent. You've played with good ones. You've played with bad ones. I've always thought you were team first when you played.
Well, I appreciate that, Kevin. There's just an idea about what it is that you can contribute to the team. I think you always have to accentuate those ideals. Your approach on a daily basis has to be consistent. And if you're a starting player, it's one mentality. And if you're somebody that plays off the bench, you have to come to practice every day to push the guy in front of you and wait for your opportunity. But most of the time, it's that kind of consistency with which you come to work and the attitude of making sure that I want to make any kind of contribution I can for our team's success. That usually is a pretty good formula for a good teammate.
So on the floor for Minnesota, they've got AI. Charge is out there with Andrew Wiggins. Then it's Karl Anthony Towns. And it's Teague in at the point guard position. Sacramento making a switch here. Cauley Stein's checked in. Fox kicks to Bielitsa. And once again off the mark by Sacramento.
Well, they've been better than good on the glass today, and there is a glaring discrepancy between these two teams in that area. The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
It's stolen by Teague. And here we go. Teague heading to the hoop. On the pass to AI. For three. Here's Towns. Second shot opportunity. And they call the foul. So he's got the and one chance here to make it a three-point play. And the Kings making a change here. Bagley's checked in.
And already a leader at such a young age. Towns' teammates look to him to anchor them on both ends. And he has not disappointed.
Barnes against Teague. Barnes looking around. 5 on the clock. Looking to end the run.
Heads-up aggressive play right there. Saw the smaller man on him and took it straight to the basket.
Minnesota leading by 17. Pass to Covington. Kicks it to AI. Played in with a nice touch off the glass. AI's got 25 points in the game.
Up by a bunch. He's still pushing the action, trying to impose his will.
Well, collectively, they've done it tonight here. A passionate performance from the squad.
Fox with it. Picked up by Teague. Nobody near Barnes. Off target from outside. Minnesota's gone 0-3 so far in the fourth quarter from long range. Here's AI, and again it's Minnesota.
And you can see it. They're in a nice rhythm in terms of shooting. It's been that way the entire second half.
And then there's the other team. Can't say that about them. Big gap in the recent field goal percentage between these two squads.
Gibson against Fox. He kicks it to Bagley. Outside Bogdanovich. His three-pointers off the mark.
Trying to shoot his way out of this slump, but thus far, not working.
Yeah, I hope it hasn't gone to his head. He may be trying too hard at this point.
And he gets the whistle for the call. Certain guys can play within themselves and still dominate. You played along one of the best that you saw up close in Tim Duncan.
One of the things I think about with Tim is how many numbers he left on the board, Kevin. The way that Coach Popovich played him, minimal minutes, touches when needed most, where Tim usually came through, but how much more dominant he truly could have been.
And he didn't care about numbers. So it's Minnesota winning this one easily. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it.
I'm pretty sure this one's going on my highlight reel, guys. I'm just saying. Just saying.
Great game, guys. AI, you got a second?
Yeah, what's up, Charlie?
Guys in the studio have a few questions for you.
All right.
Media alcove right this way.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
And we welcome you back. I'm Ernie Johnson. We got Shaq here. We got Kenny here. With this one in the books, we've got a special post-game.
Hey, this is Shaq. Hurrah!
Lamar, you've been beasting these last few games, and it's fun to watch. Anything you feel you've done differently to make this impact?
Oh, man, you know, Shaq, sometimes adrenaline takes over, and I just decide it's time to go out there and put on a show. You know, I'm a man of the people, and the people won't win, so that's what I'm going to give them.
You're not a man, you're an animal. Roar!
And that'll wrap things up. Thank you for joining us. For Shaq, for Kenny, for Kevin Harlan, for the entire 2K Sports crew, this is Ernie Johnson. Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.
Here you go.
What's up, AI? Got that Foot Locker money for you.
That is what I'm here for.
There you go.
Word, thank you.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
Okay, basketball fans, with me, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal. I'm Ernie Johnson. You're watching 2K Sports, but you know that already. And tonight our broadcast will be shifting to Minneapolis, where we'll see the Timberwolves going up against the New Orleans Pelicans. Well, for the Pelicans, they've had a tough time over the last few weeks. 3-7 in their last 10 games. We'll see if they can make amends tonight. And one of the stars in our upcoming game spent a little time with one of our stars right here. Shaq, how was your meeting with AI?
All I'll say is, because snitches get stitches, is